What's going on, guys? Big Mike, the 717 Outlaw here with you today. So figured why not make a small video. Today is my birthday. Thank God I made it one more year. No, I'm just kidding. But we are going to be taking a little bit of TLC on Project Cornbread. And before we get into what we're going to be doing to the bike, I want to get you guys' opinion on entering this into the car show at Motorama this year. It is happening in February. Registration stops the first week of February, and I really want to get this bike in there, and I want to know what you guys think. Should we take the bike there and showcase it and see what kind of input we get on people, and also just to share Harrison's story, share the story behind the bike, and kind of promote people to not drink and drive, because the symbolism behind this bike is to show, one, it's Harrison's bike. This was his bike from the get-go, and two, showing all the people that it affected. It doesn't just hurt that one person that gets hurt in an accident. It hurt every single person that came out and signed this bike. So I want to see what you guys think about taking this out to the show and kind of showing it off a little bit and then explaining the story that's behind it. So now we're going to get into the TLC here on Cornbread. And the one thing I always get harped on at some shows is this beat up old exhaust tip. Now the paint's flaking off. I can rub my hand on it and you can see the flakes that are just coming off. So we're going to go ahead and pull this exhaust off, pull the baffling out, and we're going to sandblast it and repaint it. We got some high temp paint and get the R6 looking a little bit cleaner. Alright guys, let's get into this video and start tearing this bike down. Go ahead and pull the baffling out and get this repainted, but first, what does it sound like completely straight piped? Because this is the only muffler I have. It's a baffled. There's baffling on the inside of this. You can kind of see on the wall, the side wall in there. So right now, it is completely straight piped. So we're going to see what it sounds like. That was a lot louder than I thought. Didn't sound too good, so we're not even going to let it really get too hot, because I guarantee that took a lot of back pressure out of the motor. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get this exhaust painted and get her put back together. Alright guys, well, we have the, I guess, the housing essentially, or the can, whatever you want to word it. We have the tip ready, and we have the baffling, which honestly there is no packing whatsoever. So let's get this in the blaster and get it cleaned up. Alright guys, so this is the after sandblasting. It actually cleaned up very well. We're just going to do a quick wipe down and kind of wash it off in the sink. Get any of the loose debris off, then we're going to wipe it down with a paint thinner just to clean up any oils or residues. I'm going to put some gloves on. While it was in there too, we also sandblasted the screws. So those are all cleaned up, ready to go. So let's go ahead and get this ready and get our paint on. All right, I think we're actually gonna go ahead and try and get our first coat of paint. This is good for up to 2,000 degrees, which should be plenty for this exhaust tip. I don't think it'll ever see temperatures that high, but you never know, so I figured why not go overboard. So, all right, let's get our first coat. Guys, well, we just kind of hit it with the heat gun a little bit just to get the paint dry enough to touch. And I have to admit, this turned out a lot nicer than I thought. I mean, even the inside, the edges are really nice. It looks a lot better than what we started with all the chipped paint. So we're going to go ahead, reassemble this exhaust, and then we're going to go ahead and put it back on the bike. She's back together, baffling is in, clamp is on. Let's go get her on the bike. We're gonna go ahead, pull the bike out, fire it up, let it do a heat treat. So we're just gonna let the bike idle for a little bit. I might take it around the block just to get the heat pumping, and go ahead and heat this up and do a heat cure, and then the exhaust is done. After a good round of heat treat, we have the pipe on. Still a little warm to the touch yet, but man, that cleaned up so much nicer than the original. And I did keep the screws silver, just a little bit of contrast with it instead of just painting over. So overall, bike looks pretty good, a nice clean up touch to it. There are a few other spots I wouldn't mind touching up here on this bike, like this little wear mark here where the ignition is, but overall, clean the bike up really nice. It's just a nice little touch. The flat black doesn't really contrast too much because the swing arm is almost like a gunmetal gray, so the matte black goes well with it, along with the fairings and the frame. The colors do kind of mesh pretty well. But we're gonna wrap this video up. I do hope you guys liked the quick little upgrade for the bike, and if you want to know anything more on doing that kind of heat paint on your bike, like what kind of steps to take, I'd love to help anybody out that's watching this. But pretty simple steps, and the one big tool that came in handy with this, if you do not have one, you can use a wire brush, but the sand blaster, that made it a dream to get that off, because it really took the paint off in a hurry, and it also basically did our sanding for us, and it gave it a good surface to paint on after we did our little wipe down and cleaning afterwards to get any loose sand and loose particles off. But I think the bike turned out pretty good. Also, going off the beginning of the video, if you guys, let me know what you guys think about taking this to Motorama this year. I'm really thinking about it, but it wouldn't hurt to get you guys' take on getting the bike out there and showing people the bike and letting everybody hear Harrison's story and seeing Harrison's bike, honestly. Sorry guys, as always, I do hope you liked this video. I hope it was informational to you, so please give it a like. Drop those comments down below if there's anything that you want to know about this video, about the channel, anything. Don't forget to subscribe. Also hit that little bell next to that for notifications on the newest videos that I will be putting out. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Since it had to do with bikes, remember, ride safe, ride smart, always wear your helmet. I will see you on the next upload. you.